So ever since I made my video on Andrew Hamilton, I've wanted to do a follow-up video. Unfortunately, I got very sick and haven't been able to do so. But in that time, it has allowed the cockroaches to come out and think that it's safe to interact when it isn't, because I've been keeping a very close eye on what's been going on with Andrew and his quote unquote fox family, now called tiger family. I don't know. I'm trying my best to keep track of all this. And I guess he's just like decided to which animals. I don't He can't even remain consistent with what animal he wants to be in the same way that he can't keep consistent in how old he wants his girlfriends to be. Interestingly enough, though, he has accumulated new members to his family. 3 or 4 very high profile people. I guess the highest profile would be the 16-year-old YouTube content creator, Skyfire. Now, me and a bunch of other people have covered Skyfire before. I don't see any reason to mention him again in this video. I'm not going to show you his channel or anything like that. He is a 16-year-old little clout chaser. He only gets involved when it needs to be that he needs to come at me for whatever reason. Interestingly enough, though, one of his friends has been very quiet recently. I wonder why that might be. Now, as well as having a 16-year-old grooming victim in his family, Andrew has also become very close friends with Josh Gifford and Javier Pony. Now, who are these two people? I briefly mentioned them in the My Little Pony video. It just so happens that these people are also in contact with Andrew. Now, Andrew is a confirmed child predator. He attempted to groom a 15-year-old girl over Discord. Screenshots are public. I can put it in for 2 hours. He confessed. There's no more to it than that. Now, I have attempted to warn people about getting involved with this person, but I think what is interesting is Josh and Javier both have a history of defending Caitlin Hahn and Michael Greenway. Now, Josh is somebody who is very childlike. Everything that he does is very childish. He gets involved in roleplay families, he talks through plush toys, the kind of thing you would expect from somebody who doesn't really kind of care for the health, well-being, mental fortitude of children. Interestingly enough, though, on whichever live stream it was that he did, he decided to go out of his way and say this.
In the chat right now, am I a pedophile?
Now, this wouldn't be that crazy if Josh wasn't already affiliated with several other pedophiles in the community, i.e., Caitlin Hahn, Michael Greenway, and now Andrew Hamilton. So you have a trio of friends here that have done some very suspicious things to children, Josh. I'd like to see your public comment about that soon. Now, when it comes to Javier, Javier really is an absolute nothing burger. He doesn't do anything. I don't think he's groomed children. He's just very autistic and gets involved in other very autistic battles on YouTube, arguing with other very autistic people. It's like watching 6 people foaming at the mouth just attacking each other. It is fucking hilarious. In the time span since the confrontation, Andrew has broken up with, I think, Ash. I have no idea if they dated each other, but it sure as shit looked like they did. And now they absolutely fucking hate each other. So, for context, there are 2 families of furries that are attacking each other. You have the Tiger family, and then you have whatever the fuck Aubrey is doing. So, they are at war almost constantly. It's so fucking funny. And basically, when I first originally confronted Andrew, his argument was, well, are you not going to go after Aubrey? Which is funny, right? Because he was grooming a 15-year-old, and Aubrey is also friends with Dan Sobel. Dan Sobel famously telling a child to stick their middle finger in their you know what. But I hear what you're saying. Being friends with Dan Sobel doesn't mean you support his actions, right? No, but I'll tell you what does. Being friends with DD Live Studios and Tara Live Studios, bringing them onto your live streams, them giving you moderator on their live streams, and you guys hanging out as friends. Very interesting. So I don't want DD Live Studios obviously to take up too much of this video, but I do think it's worth mentioning why he is so prolific and the kind of things that he's done. DD Live Studios for the longest time has been confirmed to be in possession of CP. CP is exactly what you think it is, of a 12-year-old girl who sadly committed suicide in the Wizard 101 community because her images were leaked. And somehow DD got access to this image and started sharing it around on Instagram. DD was also famously in contact with somebody who went to court, Human Azam, for approaching a young boy outside of his house and molesting him. He then went back a week later to apologize to the boy, and then the mother called the police. Now, while Human Azam is not a confirmed sex offender, he went to court. It was I guess, a mistrial. They decided that he needed therapy. He didn't need to go to jail. All the usual legal bullshit. Um, Basically, he came back, and DD Live Studios gave him a place in his community, and he was adding him into group chats with 14, 15, 16-year-old boys, to which Humanazam was sending pictures of his genitals, and DD was there the whole time and basically just allowed it to continue. So without straying too far away from the original purpose of this video, which was to cover Andrew after the confrontation had happened, we did end up talking to his mother briefly. If you want to see that, that is on Vamp's channel. I'll put the link in the description. It was utter chaos. She has absolutely no idea what the fuck she's talking about. Apparently, I'm being watched by the FBI. Her uncle is in the FBI. Um, Somebody works for NASA. I think somebody was pulling my leg in the chat because I missed that part. But I genuinely hope that the argument that Andrew's mother is running on is a member of her family works at NASA, so I'm going to jail. But that's just Andrew's mother. She's definitely a psycho. And I don't want to put any clips in this video. I want you to go over to Vamp's channel and watch that in its entirety. Um, it's also worth noting that I think Andrew was dating Ash around the time that he was grooming the 15-year-old girl. At this moment in time, he is dating somebody called Jimin. Now, Jimin is fighting with Ash because Ash is calling Andrew a liar, and Jimin is going, he's not a liar, he's an honest person. You will not die on that hill in less than a week. That's all I'm saying to you. Basically, they're all fighting each other, and it's kind of like a toss-up between, are they going to stay with Andrew or are they going to run off and join Aubrey? Now, there is a third option, and that's not being a child molester. That's the third option. There's always a third option. Don't be a child molester and don't involve yourself with any of those fucking people, because on the one hand, you have somebody like Aubrey who's affiliated with Dan Sobel, DD Live Studios, Tara Live Studios, and everybody else associated with them that I've covered on this channel in the past, as well as you have Andrew, who is associating himself with people like Skyfire, who is a grooming victim, Josh Gifford, Javier Pony, Caitlin Hahn, Michael Greenway, and that's just to name a few. It really does kind of suggest that there is a faction of people out there who I have covered, who maybe Vamp has covered, who maybe Zexio has covered, who publicly want to denounce what we do, even though we have backed up just about everything we've ever done with evidence. Now, I work independently. I do my own thing. I kind of always have. I have people who work with me, but I don't necessarily work for anyone else. I cooperate with other people, and I'm not really the kind of person who's going to sit here and say, oh, well, I work for such and such. No, I don't. I don't work for anybody. So I just find it interesting that people are very quick to jump onto a bandwagon against me, but collectively it's against people like Zexio, Vamp, and I just find it interesting because it's very clear at one point or another, if you're attacking any one of us three, that you were definitely caught either grooming children or attempting to groom children. Now, I do also want to briefly mention somebody else in the community. His name is Justin Gaming X. Now, Justin Gaming X has been seen on my videos, Vamp's videos. He's basically just everywhere at this point. He's like some kind of disease. And what we had discovered the other day was he was on a live stream with Andrew. Now, the girl who runs the live stream, she didn't have anything to do with any of this. Again, the word agency comes into play again. Like, why are you inviting this guy on your live stream? Surely you could have done research into who this guy is before you bring him on your platform. But I digress. A lesson was learned, and she's not going to do it anymore. Well, she better fucking not anyway. But that's not the point. Justin was somebody who was in Vamp's community. He was in my server, so he knew that Andrew had been covered by me, Vamp, and everybody else. He had been the kind of person who had been covered extensively. You know, my video on Andrew almost has 500 views. I'm very thankful for that. But what I will say is Justin never alerted me or anyone else to Andrew being on a live stream. Now, you would think that knowing what we do, he would at least inform us of, oh, look who's on this live stream. That didn't come to his mind. Now, we did a little bit of digging into Justin, and I was informed he had gifted a child Discord Nitro. He was also friends on Discord with multiple grooming victims, and he was also friends on Discord with multiple child predators. You really think somebody like me, somebody like Godot or Vamp are gonna sit by and just say, "Oh, it's a coincidence. There's nothing nefarious about this at all." He has been avoiding contact with me, particularly for the last few days. Now, we have tried just about everything to get Justin to talk to us. He refuses. Now, I went to bed last night, went to sleep. I woke up. Apparently, they'd done a call with him. So I need to look into that after this. But what I will say is I do want people to be vigilant of Justin because he had said numerous times, I can't make the call, I'm at work. But I was getting screenshots from him having conversations with other people. So he was just avoiding us. He then also mistakenly said that he wanted to move on.
Let's move on. Let's move on with life.
Really, really made me feel like we had definitely busted somebody who was doing something really nefarious. And again, all I'm going to say is Justin knew about Andrew. He was in my premiere for 2 hours and he was in all the Discord servers. There was no reason for him to not be able to say, hey, this is Andrew. There's no way it's not. And it's Clown World. I mean, these people just get involved with groomers and their victims and then just sit idly by and do absolutely nothing about it. And then when we come in, it's like, oh, I didn't know. Oh, I've been busy. Oh, I'm not active in that chat. Oh, I've been at work. I've been cleaning the cat litter tray. Um, my mother fell down the stairs. All kinds of fucking ridiculous shit like that. And it just reminds me of when we were talking to Maya Glaze. It's absolutely bonkers. I know I've front loaded a lot of names in this video, but you're gonna have to really stick with me here because there's a lot of people who are interconnected and know each other, and they're involved with some very high profile predators who have access not only to children at this moment in time, but also CP. It's really kind of scary and it's getting out of control. And the police have been contacted, but for whatever reason, they just don't deem it necessary because, oh, it's on the internet. There's nothing we can do about it. There is something you can do about it, but you're not willing to actually do it. So I think it's fair to say that Andrew and his little family aren't going anywhere anytime soon. But what we can do is we can make their online lives absolute fucking misery by exposing their crimes to pretty much everybody they interact with. So all I would say to people is if you really want somebody to fuck with and you want to double down and just kind of tell his friends, hey, this guy's a confirmed pedophile, by the way, I would say go ahead and do it because his reactions are absolutely fucking hilarious, and he really deserves nothing less than what he's about to get.